What is going on, guys? JTails here, and I just very quickly wanted to talk about something that a lot of players have been having a hard time with, and I keep hearing a lot of discussion about it, which is how to choose a main character, and what steps do you take to find your main character. Now, this is a really interesting question because this game is new. This game is pretty much brand new, and there's so many characters to choose from. Like, there's so many elements to this game: characters, stages, custom moves, matchups. There's just so many things to take into consideration. So how do you choose your main, right? Well, I'm just going to very quickly show you the steps that I take to choose a main character and to kind of get acquainted with someone, and I'm going to share that information. So let's, for example, say, I've been playing some For Glory matches, and Ness is feeling really solid to me, and I kind of want to start maining him, whatever that means, right? So what I do is I go into training mode, and I pick Donkey Kong, and I always go to Magic Hand just to keep it consistent, but whatever stage you always go to, make sure it's always that stage, because it's gonna, it's gonna change your results if you go to different stages. So maybe standard FD is fine, but reason I picked Donkey Kong is because he's the biggest character and he's also one of the heaviest. So anything that's going to kill him early is going to kill any other character at an earlier percent. So that's going to confirm some things for me. So the first thing I do is I test out the grabs. Alright, so that does 11%. Next, I do back throw. That does 11% also. Up throw, 10. And down throw is 9. So already what that tells me is that forward throw and back throw are going to be my main, the throws I'm going to want to use the most if the situation doesn't really matter. So some situations will make me use up throw. Maybe there's something on the ground that I need to get rid of, and up throw is the best option. So definitely now I already know that, which throws I'm going to be using more frequently than the other ones. Or if I stale one of my throws, which one I'm going to use to get more damage. But if you notice here, down throw actually combos into forward air, and that's important. So now I have a third option. Instead of forward throwing or back throwing, I can down throw and get a free combo. And this is important for low percents with Ness. Maybe I can even do down throw to forward air to up air. And that deals 28. So from 0 to 28. So now I know that I want to use down throw at early percents. So the next thing I think about is, how am I going to lead up into that down throw? That's going to be my main goal, basically, aside from, some of my other moves. So we all know PK Fire locks them in place. You can get the down throw, forward air, maybe PK Fire, whatever else from that. But that's the basic early game from Ness, and I do that just from experimenting with him. Can I follow up off of forward throw? No, not really. Back throw? Not really. So then I start testing out some of the other moves as well as at higher percents to kind of figure out where, what moves I'm going to be using more often. Am I going to be using tilts? And am I going to be using neutral air? And what trajectory are those moves going to send them? Does back air kill? No. Or are we traded? So up air seems to have some decent knockback. So these are all just important things to take note of. Forward smash obviously kills. And as we all know, the back throw. Look how far that sent him versus forward throw, which probably at 100% isn't going to kill. But we can set the percentage to 125, let's say. And we more or less know the range of what moves you're going to want to do at high percent and what moves you're going to want to do at low percent to get that kill. And if it's working on Donkey Kong, it's going to work on other characters as well. So basically just, I actually walk around with the character just to get a feel for their walking speed, their running speed, their normals. This is all basic stuff. But every character has animation, and that animation has lag. And everyone's lag is different from each other. So I test these things out and I just see what feels right and what can I do to make this character work for me, you know? Also, recovering is also important. You definitely want to practice your recovery because you should never be dying that way. So after that, what I do is I look for the aerials that have least amount of lag. So that down air, as we see, I can't even move after that. That's how long it takes for me to move. But if I do it full hop, you can see I almost immediately recover. So I'm not going to be wanting to short hop down air as much as I'm going to want to full hop down air and maybe come down with something else. Up air actually leaves me with no lag, or almost no lag. So it's a quick move I can throw out on the ground without much risk, or you know, I can do almost anything afterwards. Same thing with neutral air, although it does have some lag. Back air has decent recovery, but definitely up air is going to be the move I want to throw out the most. Depending on the situation, of course. Maybe as a cross up, I want to just jump in and back air their back so they have to turn around and try and grab me. But the point is, I now know what moves to use with Ness and more kind of in what situations, which is important. So I would then take Ness into 4 glory mode and start practicing some matchups. You know, I would take note of which characters I'm losing to and which characters I'm beating easily. And it's important to think about, am I losing to this character because the character is really good and Ness doesn't have any options to beat this? Or is the player just really outsmarting me? Does he just understand the game that much better than I do, and that's why I'm losing? So let's say I keep losing to Bowser Jr., and I feel like Ness just doesn't have the tools to overcome that matchup. So what I would either do at this point is I would look for another character that can kind of shut down Bowser Jr. I would think about, what does he have? Projectiles? What are his kill moves? Which character is best suited to deal with Bowser Jr.? Because now he's on my list. So when choosing a main, you have to think about your purpose. Like, I could totally want a main villager just because I want to prove that I'm the best villager in North America or in the world, right? So by making that decision, by making that my purpose, I'm accepting that I'm going to have really tough matchups, maybe against Rosalina or Sheik or Greninja, some of the stronger characters in the game. But my purpose is to prove that I'm the best villager. So I'm not going to stray off that path. That's my goal. And that's fine. People who know this are probably well on their way because, you know, they already have their characters in mind. But if your purpose is to just win tournaments, maybe you know, just prove you're a great player and you just want a strong, solid character, your searching is going to be a little different from everybody else who's just kind of playing for fun or playing more casually. So back to the Bowser Jr. reference, I would also actually use Bowser Jr. and do the same things that I did for Ness. Just figure out what follow-ups does he have, what are his kill moves, what are his aerials that have the least amount of lag that he can approach with. You know, what tools does Bowser Jr. have? And once I learned that, I would then think about the rest of the cast and think about which character can counter Bowser Jr. Because otherwise, if I go to a tournament and I run into a Bowser Jr. versus Ness, I'm screwed. There goes a free win for my opponent. Or, you know, maybe I'm dead set on beating Bowser Jr. with Ness, and that's what I want to do. Maybe I have a friend who plays Bowser Jr. and I tell him, hey, I need that practice, you know? So there are many ways to go about it, but definitely when choosing a main, you want to think about all the moves and all the tools, and you want to just experience every character you can against the main that you want. Also, watching videos of higher level players can help too, so you can see how they move and how they use their characters, and it could give you ideas for when you're playing that character. But definitely it's a long road, and once again, depending on your purpose is going to depend on what character you're going to be using, because there are a lot of great characters and some are definitely better than others. So when you think about this, and it's like, man, I'm a villager and I keep losing to Rosalinas, Sheiks, Lucario, they're just like overpowered. Do I want to make the change? Well, you know, if your intention is to win tournaments, you might just have to. I'm not saying abandon villager, but maybe pick up Rosalina as well as villager. And on your journey to becoming a top player, you're going to be using Rosalina as a counter pick character to those tough matchups. But everything else you've sweated for with villager, you're going to know how to destroy inside and out. So that's what I mean. Some characters just might not fit your playstyle. Like, for example, if you're very rushdown oriented, you might like Fox, you might like Sheik or Greninja. And if you're very patient and you like camping it out, zoning, you might like Duck Hunt Dog, Rob, maybe even Olimar. So it all depends, you know, even if a character is, let's say, top tier, I know there are no tier lists yet in this game, but if that character doesn't suit you as a person and you can't mold yourself like clay to fit that character's playstyle, you know, I'm thinking of Little Mac, that comes to mind right away. Certain characters just have to be played a certain way in order for them to be effective. And if you can't make that change, then maybe that character isn't for you. Maybe there's another higher tier character for you. Maybe there's another adjustment you need to make to your playstyle. So it's either you mold to the character or the character molds to you. And, you know, it doesn't always happen that way. So you might just need a change of mains. You know, what character, when you use them, you find it, wow, I win really easily. Like, I don't even have to try that much. And what character, when you use, you just feel like every battle is a downhill battle. Like, I have to work so hard just for my wins, you know? So you need to think about if you're willing to accept that going into the competitive scene. Do I want to struggle for my wins? Do I want to work hard, even if it's difficult? Do I want to use this character because they just harmonize with me? Or, you know, do you want the easy track? Do you want to just say, well, Rosalina's top tier, so I'm going to just, even if she feels horrible, I don't like how she looks, I don't like how she moves, I don't like how she plays, but I'm going to learn her and I'm going to just copy all the best Rosalinas and I'm going to win tournaments that way. You know, either track you pick is fine. You just have to stick to it and have a game plan. So that's pretty much my my video on choosing a main. If I left anything out, if there's anything else you want me to talk about, please feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. Maybe I'm missing something. But I think this is pretty straightforward. I might make a part 2, depending on the amount of reception I get for this. But guys, if you are watching this and this really helped you out, you found it informative, please give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up actually really helps me get noticed on YouTube and other social media sites. Please share it if you can. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really responsive to feedback I get, and I reply to every comment I get. So once again, guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys next time.